Hello to the panels of judges and everybody who spent their time here today to listen to me talk about hope. And when I think of hope, I think of like a dazzling gleam of sunshine, people looking up to the sky, and they go out and they explore and they think of stuff that has never happened before, and they hope and hope a little bit more and hope even more, and it happens. It happens because they have hope in the things that they believe is right. I believe hope is something very important. Hope is not only a thing that we have in everyday life, a goal that we want to achieve, but hope is also a kind of string, a kind of backbone to our life. Hope is something that gives us an idea of the direction that we want to go in. So I think an example of hope that is very recently, even today right now, is that I had hoped I would have not done this round. I am very scared right now. I am not built for public speaking, but thank you for listening to me. I think that I was hoping so, but when I got here on the stage and all the lights are shining on me, I feel like that hope was for nothing. I feel like now I have a new hope, and that hope is to do my best and to provide you with the best speech you'd ever hear about hope. And I think that kind of motivated me on the stage here today. Hope is such a powerful thing that can change a person's mind from one side to the polar opposite of it. I was very scared of this, but now I feel so happy being here talking to you. I think hope is very important. Hope is very bright, but hope can also be kind of sad. Hope can sometimes present itself in the worst situation possible. For example, maybe you're failing at something. Maybe you're failing in class. I think a lot of students here and a lot of parents who have been students here can relate to that a lot. Being a student and maybe getting a lower grade than what you'd expect, than what you felt for. And you feel like, oh my God, I cannot do this. I feel like I'm kind of a failure if you take it in literal words. And I think that's a good thing, because when you're thinking that, there will be at some point that you think, wait a minute, I can do better than this, right? So you are having that kind of thought process of, there is still hope for me to do this, and it is not the end of the world if I get a bad grade or if I fail in a test or something like that. So hope is also kind of like a security line that when we fall too deep, we can always hold on to it and we pull ourselves up again. Hope can also present itself in that kind of situations. And I think I would like to tell a bit of a story of my own. Now we're getting into the story time so that you will not sleep now. When I was a primary school student, do you know the kind of like MBTI test that people usually take, right? So there's that kind of category at the beginning. And there was one that was like extrovert or introvert. So I took that at the beginning of my primary school, and it comes out as introvert. And I was like, well, that fits me a lot. I am actually an introvert. And then because I saw that kind of results, I didn't really participate in anything at school at all. Like, you would not see my face in one single Got Talent or one single group presentation in class, even in the classroom where I know the students who are around me. And I was that scared because I thought introverts is supposed to be this way. But then there was something that really piques my interest, and that was poetry. So there was a contest in my school about poetry, and I'm like, well, this sounds fun. I might as well give it a try, even though I'm an introvert, because I was thinking, introverts do poetry. You know Shakespeare saying, introverts do poetry a lot, that's the thing. They think a lot in poetry, and they put all their thinking onto paper, who will not judge us for who we are. I mentioned that before, I hope you remember. So I made a poem about saving animals and the environment, because that was what I was hoping for. That was my goal as a person, to help the environment and to save the world. And so I put all my mind into that poem, and I succeeded. I actually scored something for once, and I feel like this is fun. And I think that I actually like this a lot. So then there was another stage of the competition where you have to speak out your poem, and I'm oh shoot, actually, I'm not built for this enough yet. So there was the reading poem thing, and I was scaring my timbers, shivered my timbers, bro. I was very scared at that point in time. But then I actually did it because I was like, this is the idea I want to share to the people. This is the idea I want to talk about, and this is important to me as an individual. So this is my chance to do something to a very large audience that will help me to spread the idea I want to spread the most. And so I confidently speak out my poem, and there was good results. I was very happy that day. I was celebrating on my bed. So I think from that moment on, I realized what talking can do. It can make me share my ideas more easily. I can spread my ideas to all the people who I want to be able to understand this problem right now, and how they can also be inspired to fix this problem just like I did. So I realized talking wasn't only a thing for extroverts. I realized it was also for introverts who has a big idea they want to share. So then from that point on, I started talking a lot. However, then I meet a thing they call debate. It was not my forte at all. There were people arguing with arguments all over the place. They were having supporting evidence, arguments, clashes, and all those stuff like that. And I said, I'm not built for this much kind of speaking. So I'm like, if I'm not built for this kind of speaking, then am I actually an extrovert, or am I still an introvert? So I was considering that for a very long time, and I think it's kind of like a mini personal identity crisis kind of thing. So I was not sure if I should be more reserved of myself, or should I be more outward about my opinion. And then I realized, I don't have to be either. I can just be myself. I can talk when I want to, and not talk when I want to, when I don't want to. So that was what I got from the experience. And I think that is something that has led me to a lot of hope before. I was hoping I can share my idea, so I tried out something new that worked for me. And then when I tried to my limit, I said, this is what I had hoped for. And now I think I've accomplished what I have hoped for. I think it's time to fall back and think a little bit on if I actually want to do this even more, or if I am comfortable in this comfort zone that I've created for myself. So what I'm trying to say is, hope is an idea that can push you further, that can push you to accomplish your goal, but it's not only pushing you to accomplish your goal, it can also push you to your limit. And then when you reach your limit, you can then consider if this hope has served you enough, so that you can maybe stop, or if you want to explore further, have even more hope. So hope is a very powerful device of moving onward. It is a very powerful kind of pedal kind of thing that you press on, and it makes you leap forward like you're in a race, and then it makes you rushing for more. But then when you realize that this hope has driven you far enough, you can then consider and put yourself first and think, is this right for me, or am I fine being here? So to conclude, I would like everybody to think a little bit more about hope and how hope has impacted you in your life. How have you hoped? What have you hoped for before? How has this hopefulness show itself in your life visually or mentally, impactfully in your life? I hope that through my speech, a lot of people would start looking at hope as a device of pushing onward and pushing to your limits to do things you have never done before outside of your comfort zone, and maybe expand it a little bit more. Thank you.